If this appeared in your feed, it wasn't luck. You're here because something inside you broke open. And what most people call your breakdown, that was your initiation. You're about to learn the psychological framework that separates those who survive chaos from those who master it. If you're ready to turn your pain into permanent power, subscribe now. There are two worlds operating simultaneously. The surface world tells you growth is linear. Work hard, be good, stay positive, follow the rules, and everything works out. Then there's the real world, the one Carl Jung spent decades mapping, where transformation doesn't arrive through improvement. It arrives through destruction, controlled demolition of everything you thought was you. Jung called it the final test. And most people fail it without ever knowing they were being tested. They medicate the symptoms, they rebuild the same walls, they go back to sleep. But you didn't. You searched for meaning in the collapse. You refused the easy answers. And that's why you're here. Today, you're getting 9 principles that Jung discovered about this process. 9 truths about what actually happens when your psyche outgrows its container. This isn't theory. This is the operating manual for the most dangerous transformation a human being can undergo. Before we go deeper, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now. What's one moment you did everything right and still lost? Then type this: I'm ready to see the truth. Because once you understand what I'm about to show you, you can't unknow it. Number 1, your isolation wasn't random, it was strategic. Here's the trap most people fall into. They think connection equals worth. The more people around them, the more texts, the more social validation, the more real they are. That's not connection. That's dependence dressed as belonging. Jung discovered something that disturbs people. Before you can become yourself, you have to be alone. Not lonely, alone. There's a difference. Lonely means you're waiting for someone to complete you. Alone means you're discovering what exists when nobody's watching. Your psyche pulls all its energy inward. Everything that used to matter, the Instagram likes, the work promotions, the friend group drama suddenly feels hollow. Not because you're depressed, because you've outgrown the container. You're at the party, everyone's performing. You're watching yourself perform, and suddenly you can't do it anymore. You see the game too clearly to keep playing. Your brain is protecting you from wasting energy on relationships that require you to be less than you are. When small talk feels physically painful. When you'd rather be alone than fake one more conversation. When people say you've changed and they're right. Stop apologizing for the withdrawal. Use this time to audit every relationship. Ask, does this person know the real me, or do they know my performance? For 7 days, say no to every social obligation that feels like performance. Notice who respects the boundary and who pressures you. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose depth over approval. Number 2, you spent years blaming others for problems that lived inside you. Other people are responsible for your emotional state. Your parents broke you. Your ex destroyed you. Your boss controls your worth. Society owes you fairness. You gave your power away. Then you resented people for holding it. Jung called this projection. You take the parts of yourself you can't accept, and you throw them onto other people. Then you spend your life fighting enemies that are just mirrors. Your psyche reaches a breaking point where it can no longer sustain the delusion that someone else is driving your life. The projections collapse. Suddenly you see clearly. Nobody was ever in control of you except you. You've been waiting for your parents' approval your entire life. One day you realize they can't give you something they don't have. The anger dissolves. Not because you forgive them, because you stop expecting them to save you. Projection protects you from responsibility. As long as it's their fault, you don't have to change. Anytime you think, if only they would, you're projecting. Anytime you're waiting for someone to give you permission to start your life, you're projecting. Every person you resent is showing you something you've disowned in yourself. The controlling mother shows you your own need for control. The arrogant coworker shows you your own suppressed ambition. List 3 people who trigger you most. Write down the specific quality you hate. Then ask, where does this quality exist in me? Drop this in the comments. I take back my power. Number 3. Your darkness isn't your enemy. Your denial of it is. Here's what nobody tells you. The qualities you judge most harshly in others are the qualities you've buried in yourself. Society trained you to believe good people don't have dark thoughts. So you spend your life pretending you're incapable of rage, cruelty, manipulation, or selfishness. You're capable of all of it. And the more you deny it, the more it controls you from the shadows. Jung discovered that your shadow, everything you've repressed, doesn't disappear. It operates unconsciously. You act out your cruelty in passive-aggressive comments. Your rage leaks out in sarcasm. Your manipulation shows up in people-pleasing. When you bring shadow contents into consciousness, they lose their destructive power. You're not acting out anymore. You're choosing. You've always prided yourself on being nice. Then someone crosses your boundary and you explode. Disproportionate rage. Where did that come from? Your shadow. The anger you've been denying for years erupted all at once. Integrated people are dangerous in the best way. They don't act out their darkness unconsciously. They wield it strategically. Pay attention to when you say, I would never. That's your shadow speaking. Whatever follows that phrase is exactly what you're capable of. Admit your capacity for darkness. Say it out loud. Yes, I'm capable of lying when it serves me. Yes, I'm capable of hurting people who threaten me. This admission doesn't make you bad. It makes you honest. For 14 days, notice every time you judge someone harshly. Write down the quality you're judging. Then find 3 examples of when you've displayed that same quality. Drop this affirmation. I am whole, not perfect. Number 4. The version of you that people loved was never real. Your personality is who you are. The professional at work. The good child at family dinners. The fun friend in group chats. These are you. Those are costumes. Survival strategies you build to avoid rejection. And maintaining them is exhausting you. Jung called this the persona, the social mask. You've spent decades perfecting different masks for different contexts. You're so good at switching between them that even you forgot there's something underneath. During the final test, the persona becomes unbearable. You can't fake enthusiasm anymore. You can't perform emotional labor for people who don't know the real you. The mask cracks, then shatters. You're in a work meeting and everyone's performing corporate theater. Fake enthusiasm, strategic laughter. You used to do this automatically. Now you're watching yourself do it and feeling disgusted. The persona protected you when you were weak, but now it's a prison. Your psyche is demanding authenticity, even if authenticity costs you relationships. When you feel like you're acting in your own life. When you can't remember what you actually want versus what you've been conditioned to want. When people say, I miss the old you, and you realize the old you was exhausting. Stop maintaining masks for people who only love your performance. Let the persona die. Some people will leave. Let them. The ones who stay will meet the real you. For 7 days, stop code switching. Use the same personality in every context. Notice who's uncomfortable with the real you. Drop this in the comments. The mask is dead. If this is rewiring how you see identity and power, hit the like button right now. This is psychological territory most people never map. Number 5. After you've faced your own darkness, external chaos can't touch you. Most people avoid their inner world, so they're constantly thrown off balance by external circumstances. Job loss destroys them. Social rejection ruins them. You've already faced the worst thing possible, your own capacity for darkness. What can the world throw at you that's scarier than what you've already survived? Integration creates psychological stability. You're no longer at war with parts of yourself. You're no longer using energy to maintain defenses. You're whole. Your friend gets fired and spirals. You get fired and start planning your next move within hours. Same circumstance. Different response. Why? You've done the inner work. They haven't. People who haven't integrated their shadow are fragile. Their identity depends on external validation. You don't need validation because you've already accepted yourself completely. You remain calm in chaos. Not because nothing matters, because you're rooted in something deeper than circumstances. Become the calm in other people's storms. Your stability will either inspire them or terrify them. Either way, you're demonstrating what integrated consciousness looks like. Next time there's a crisis, pause before reacting. Notice the calm beneath the surface. Trust it. Drop this affirmation. I am unmoved by external chaos. Number 6. You can now see through people instantly. You judge people by their words, their stated intentions, their surface presentation. You read the pattern underneath. Because you've integrated your own shadow, you recognize everyone else's. You see their hidden motivations, their unspoken needs, their unconscious strategies. Jung discovered that once you've made your unconscious conscious, you can read other people's unconscious effortlessly. It's not judgment, it's recognition. Lies and manipulation work through unconscious collusion. When you're lying to yourself, you don't notice when others lie to you. When you're honest with yourself, deception becomes obvious. Someone tells you they're just being honest when they insult you. You immediately recognize the manipulation. They're using honesty as a weapon to avoid accountability for cruelty. You see it. They don't even know they're doing it. Integrated people are human lie detectors, not because they're paranoid. Because they're not lying to themselves anymore. You're no longer surprised when people reveal their true character. You saw it from the beginning. This ability is power. Use it to protect yourself. Choose relationships consciously. Avoid predators who target unaware people. Don't argue with people's words. Watch their behavior. Notice the gap between what they say and what they do. Drop this in the comments. I see clearly now. Number 7. You're essentially uncontrollable now. Most people are controlled through guilt, shame, and social pressure. These tactics work because people haven't integrated their shadow or dropped their persona. You've withdrawn your projections. Authority figures have no power over you. You've integrated your shadow. Shame doesn't work on you. You've dropped your persona. Social approval doesn't control you. Manipulation requires cooperation. The target has to care about the manipulator's opinion. You don't. Not because you're arrogant, because you've done the work. Someone tries to guilt you into attending a family event. They use the classic script, after everything we've done for you, 5 years ago, this would have worked. Now you simply say, I'm not coming, and mean it. No explanation, no apology, no guilt. Manipulators hunt for emotional buttons to push. You've disconnected all your buttons. There's nothing for them to grab onto. When someone's manipulation tactics bounce off you like you're made of stone. When you recognize the pattern in real time and feel nothing. This isn't permission to manipulate others, it's protection. You become very difficult to exploit. You choose relationships based on mutual respect, not guilt or obligation. Next time someone tries to guilt or shame you, notice the tactic. Name it silently. Then respond from calm power, not from reactive defense. Drop this affirmation: I am immune to manipulation. Number 8. You now have unshakable sense of destiny. Purpose comes from external achievement, career success, relationship status, social recognition. These things give your life meaning. Purpose comes from accepting your unique individuality. You're connected to something larger than ego, not because you're special, because you're finally yourself. Jung called this individuation, becoming the individual you were always meant to be beneath all the conditioning. Once you've integrated your shadow, dropped your persona, and withdrawn your projections, you're left with essential self. This self has a specific purpose that nobody else can fulfill. Your friends are chasing promotions and followers. You're building something that might take 10 years to pay off. They think you're wasting time. You know you're building your legacy. Different operating systems. People living from persona chase external validation endlessly. People living from essential self have internal compass. External validation becomes irrelevant. You stop comparing your path to others. You stop seeking permission. You start making decisions that don't make sense to people still trapped in collective programming. Trust your inner knowing even when it contradicts conventional wisdom. Your purpose unfolds through following what's authentic to you, not through following the crowd. For 14 days, make one decision per day based purely on what you want, not what others expect. Notice the resistance. Move through it anyway. Drop this in the comments. I trust my path. Number 9. You're now carrying evolved consciousness. People think transformation is personal. You change yourself, and that's where it ends. Every person who completes this integration becomes a carrier. Your presence operates differently. People sense something fundamental has changed in you. Jung believed this is how collective consciousness evolves. One person at a time completes their personal integration. This creates a ripple that makes it easier for others to do the same. Integrated people emit a frequency that either inspires or threatens others. Some people will be drawn to you because you give them permission to pursue their own authenticity. Others will be repelled because your integrated state reflects everything they're still denying. You walk into a room and people react to you differently now, not because you're trying to intimidate or impress, because you're no longer performing. Some people move closer, others back away. You're fine with both. Consciousness is contagious. When people encounter someone who's actually integrated, it shows them what's possible. You're not just healed. You're proof that the journey can be completed. You've become a mirror. People project onto you wildly. Some see you as wise. Others see you as cold. You're neither. You're just integrated. Accept this responsibility. You're pioneering territory that future generations will navigate more easily because you mapped it first. For the next 30 days, simply exist as your integrated self. Don't explain yourself. Don't justify your choices. Notice who's attracted to your authenticity and who's repelled by it. Drop this affirmation: I carry the truth. Here's how you implement this starting today. Step 1. Morning ritual. 5 minutes. Sit in silence and ask, which mask am I tempted to wear today? What am I avoiding in myself? Step 2. In the moment script. When someone tries to manipulate you, think, I see the pattern. I choose my response. Step 3. weekly review. Every Sunday, journal 3 questions. What projection did I notice this week? What shadow quality am I integrating? Where did I choose authenticity over approval? Step 4, 7-day social experiment. Talk 30% less. Reply slower. Notice who respects your silence and who demands your performance. List every relationship. Ask, does this person know the real me? If not, either reveal yourself or create distance. Jung spent decades mapping this territory. The Stoics called it amor fati, loving your fate. Nietzsche called it becoming who you are. Machiavelli understood that power flows to those who see clearly. The pattern repeats across centuries. Transformation requires destruction. Death of the false self. You don't lose your capacity for love or joy. You gain the capacity for real connection because you're no longer connecting from need. You're connecting from wholeness. This is the gift the final test delivers. The ability to hold your full complexity without fragmenting. You're not like everyone else anymore. That's exactly the point. If this rewired your understanding of transformation, subscribe now. There's more psychological territory to map. And drop a comment. Which principle hit hardest? What change starts today? You found the secret that could change your life. The final test wasn't trying to destroy you. It was initiating you into the rare group of humans who know themselves completely. Most people stay asleep. Most people rebuild their walls. Most people go back. But you're not most people. You passed the test. Now use what you've earned.